welcome champion Virgil Hill.
Thank you very much for coming out and stuff. Thank you, Pamela and everybody. I'd like to introduce to you Richard Hill from Minot, North Dakota. And he does a lot of our matchmaking. And so he's the guy that helps us put through our promotion, put on really good fights. He's the guy that will match the fights for this fight coming up. I don't want to say the fight's not about me, but it's about North Dakota. It's going to be my last fight, and I couldn't think of any other way for me to express, to the people of North Dakota how honored that I am. It'll be my last fight, and it's just a farewell and goodbye. I've been boxing for almost 44 years. Amateur and professionally, so I guess it is about time. But it's the only way that I know how I can give back and say thank you, to put on a good show, to fight someone who is, capable and young and going to bring a good fight, and to pass the torch to our promotion. My son, if he sticks with boxing, he's saying now he wants to go back to baseball. It's always nice to have options. I have none. But at least he'll be there for sure, but it might just be in my corner. So, but I'm happy of that. As far as my son, I never did want him to box. None of my children at all, because the grind of boxing is very, very difficult. I was very, very fortunate to have a manager like Bill Sloan. He went from being in politics to boxing. It's tough. But having him and his dedication, to me and to the state of North Dakota as well. We believe in the same thing. We believe in supporting North Dakota and giving the kids an outlet and letting them know that anything is possible. They said, a doctor came to me and said, the boxing days are over, which at that time I was done. I was retired. I was going to retire, and until he said that. Once he said that, then I was like, I day by day worked hard and just gradually got myself back into shape. And I said to them that had I listened to everybody that said that I could not do, I would have never went to the Olympics. I would have never won 5 world titles, and I would have definitely never went to the Hall of Fame. When I was at the Hall of Fame, the guy gave me a magazine and it had all the top Olympians and all the top fighters in there, and it said, guys that will make the Hall of Fame and guys that will not make the Hall of Fame. And I was first on the list not to make the Hall of Fame. And we got inducted the first round. So that is the type of stuff that I'm talking about every day. That if you believe in yourself, you can accomplish your goals. And age is just a number. It really is. If you look at the athletes and you look at the people out there today, they're competing at an older age now. I don't know if it's because the kids are doing too much of this and just the quality of athlete is not out there like it used to be, or that just attrition in itself. So once he said that, then I was off to the races on putting together a fight. Very difficult. I'm 51 Sunday. I'm 50 now. So at the time that I was doing this, I was 49, 48, and even with that, it was a difficult test. But we had just won the title at 43. So in that, process started, and nobody wanted to bite on the fight. And so my son wanted to, he got released from the Cardinals. He wanted to box now, so we started our own promotion, Silver Hill Promotions and stuff, and said, well, we'll put the fight on ourselves, because nobody would touch it. So here we are. You guys are here, we're here, and it's just something I want to give back. And we're not just fighting that way. It's not just easy, gonna be a blow-off fight and stuff. It's a legitimate fight. The guy that I'm fighting potentially is 15 and 30, 30 years old. So got him by a little bit.
He said he wanted to knock you out.
That's nice.
I want a piece of it.
Yeah, that's nice. Not nice. You didn't read the memo? That's not nice.
It was written in English. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm excited. I really am excited. It'll give us a chance to showcase our promotion. The reason why we got into promotions is we wanted to help transition our amateur fighters into pro fighters. Because I'm tired of us always being opponents. A lot of our native kids and stuff, they just get thrown in there, and they fight on 2 weeks' notice and stuff like that. They're never taken care of. So we're always an opponent for other states, like New York, Las Vegas and stuff. If they're looking for opponents, they call us. And I'm trying to change our way of thinking with our fighters and our trainers. That it's impossible that there's just me in the sport up here that has done that. When I fought kids that have come from here that were better than I was, and somewhere they've fallen off somewhere. We're going to help them try to transition and think differently so that they have an opportunity like I had. I grew up a poor kid, and I would have never been to the places I've been to without boxing. I've been all over the world. Way past any kind of aspirations that I ever had of myself. And I ended up, I've been all over the place. Cuba, Russia, Yugoslavia, France, Germany, different places, by the way. So, in that, Civic Center actually stepped up as well. It wasn't just us. We had to find someone to buy into what we wanted to do. And Charlie and Cap, they stepped up and said, hey, let's do the last one here. This is where it all started, as far as my big fights and having my title fights back here and stuff. And if anybody has seen film of the fights that went on here back when we first came, it was deafening. You couldn't hear yourself if you were screaming. It was just that big of an event. So we're hoping for something like that. But if not, half of that would be good as well. Or if one person shows up, that'd be fine as well.